want to talk for a second about buying in the dips in the silver market. I don't think there's going to be too many more days where the price of silver per ounce is going to drop below 27. Today is Thursday, July 11th or 12th. It's definitely Thursday. And I do think that silver will get under 27 today, so if you're planning on buying in a dip, I am broke as crap right now, so I won't be able to get down to my coin shop. But if I had an extra $100, I'd be getting down there this afternoon. I didn't notice any big announcements that were going to be coming out, so it might just be a gradual decline, or it could be they could have a time smackdown. I don't know, but JP Morgan seems like they might be heading out or needing a bailout, but regardless, I think they're going to have to start unwinding some of their more exotic positions, like these silver shorts. Now somebody else might come in and pick up the slack for them, but I don't know. These are suicide bankers, so somebody might come in and suicide their bank with more net silver shorts. But this thing can't go on very much longer. And I am of the opinion that if the price does get below, say, $20, I mean, if they absolutely destroy it, there won't be any physical available at that price. It'll all get bought up. Because you got to remember, the people who are buying silver now are what they consider tight hands. They understand the fundamental problems that are in all of the currency markets. And so, and nothing there is going to change until there is a collapse and a revaluation of the metals against all of the currencies. And they're not going to budge off of their metal until after all that happens. So, if you're looking for a dip, today might be a good day. But it seems like that natural northern gravitation in the chart, whenever there's not all these smackdowns and all this coordinated effort to get the price down, that seems to be, I hope it's on its way out. I'm ready for this collapse to get on, because, I think about all of, my father's generation and his father's generation, who basically worked their entire lives in order to pay debt, to try to attempt to pay off debt. And that's the same with everybody that's lived in this Western banking system. How many years of our lives have to be wasted trying to pay a debt that's unpayable? We're losing time with our families and losing time, raising our kids. And, that's all part of their plan, is to try to separate the family and bust up the family and bust up the community and put everybody into their own individual little box, their own little individual box of debt. And everybody's, they make you ashamed of the debt. Unless you bought a house or something like that. But most people now are underwater. They owe more than what their house is worth. And people are ashamed of that. And so they've got you in this individual little shame box. And I'm trying to break people out of it, because it was all orchestrated. It was all a big plan. They knew they were going to blow the prices of houses way up, way beyond what people could afford, or what wages would support. That's the biggest thing, is what kind of wage supports a house that's $400,000 or $500,000 a year. And that wage is probably like, you know, what do you got to be making? 80, 90, $100,000 a year in order to afford a house like that? Okay, what are you producing to make that wage? Oh, you're not producing anything. You're shuffling paper around in some kind of fire economy position that's financing insurance, real estate, and I also include retail, because retail is not production. Retail is a middleman. You know, chefs and cooks and a burger flipper at McDonald's produces more than a retail worker, because they actually take raw food material and turn it into an edible product. So it's all about production. The future is going to be production equals wealth, or wealth creation. And I'm going to harp on this in another video. I'm going to shorten it up and just talk about this. But we are going to be given the choice. Now, I don't even think we're going to be given the choice. What's going to be forced on us is a global currency and a global banking system, to where, you know, this is all countries being bankrupted, because the countries are trying to bail out the banks. The banks cannot be bailed out because they have infinite debt, and so the countries are taking on this infinite debt, and they've got to kick it up a notch. Well, right now there's no real global bank that they could kick this up to, but I'm sure they're going to be. I mean, it could be an offset of the IMF. It could be the IMF. It could be the World Bank. It could be the Bank of International Settlements. It could be, you know, the World Economic Stabilization Fund. That could be a new acronym that comes out, whatever that works out to be. But we have to reject any consolidation of banking power, and we also have to reject any currency that's printed by a private bank. Now, if the Treasury were to come out and issue notes, then I would accept those, as long as they are issued debt-free to the community. I mean, if the government offered me a couple $1,000s to go seal coat a parking lot, seal coat and restripe a parking lot, you know, I would go do it, knowing that I could use those notes to pay for my licenses, and you know, I'm against all that, you know, under the current system. So pay for my license, pay for my taxes, pay for, you know, the truck, the sticker for the DOT sticker, you know, that kind of thing. If I could buy fuel, and basically to create that circular flow of currency acceptance, is if you can buy food, fuel, and electricity with the currency and pay taxes, people are going to accept that currency. Food, fuel, energy, and taxes. People will accept the currency. But there also needs to be a parallel floating currency with gold and silver, because this whole thing has to be kept in check. You know, these notes will still be printed by an insane Congress that doesn't understand monetary policy yet, but I think we can get them to where they can, and limit the inflation. And the way to protect yourself and your savings from this inherent inflation, and there doesn't necessarily have to be inflation. They can keep the monetary base stable by just printing what they needed for the added population and production of the country. Now, I'm not exactly sure how you go about calculating that, but there's mathematicians and economists that are better at this than me who figure that out. But I do know that inflation can be kept at a very, very low, at a minimum, but at the same time, offering people solid protection with gold and silver coin. So we're not going to be offered these treasury notes, debt-free notes issued by, you know, I think states might. I mean, we're not following the Constitution at all anyways. So could the state issue a debt-free currency? Yeah. But the key to this is wherever the note is issued from, it should stay in that local community, because if they get hoarded or spent on things that are not local, then that doesn't help anybody. Well, I am at my credit union. Yay, no bank. They do not operate under the insolvent FDIC. So it's a much safer place to keep a little bit of operating capital in your checking or savings account again. So I'm going to go in here and do some banking or credit unioning, and that's it.